South Africa is home to many cultures, but few have shaped the country's identity as deeply as the Xhosa people. From their distinctive language and rich traditions to their resilience through centuries of change, the Xhosa stand as one of Africa's most influential cultural groups. This is not a story frozen in the past. It is a living culture, adapting, surviving, and thriving in the modern world. This is the story of the Xhosa people.
The Xhosa are an indigenous ethnic group of Southern Africa, primarily found in South Africa's Eastern Cape province, with significant populations in the Western Cape and beyond. They are part of the broader Nguni group, which also includes the Zulu, Swati, and the Bele people. The Xhosa are best known for their language, isiXhosa, one of South Africa's 11 official languages. isiXhosa is famous for its distinctive click sounds, which are integrated naturally into everyday speech and reflect centuries of cultural interaction with neighboring communities. Today, the Xhosa population numbers in the millions, making them one of the largest ethnic groups in South Africa. Their influence extends far beyond rural villages, shaping politics, arts, education, and national identity.
Kamata is the primary supreme creator god in traditional Xhosa belief, often revered as the creator of heaven and earth. Also referred to as Mdali, creator, or through the adopted term uThixo. Kamata is an omnipresent, omnipotent deity who works through ancestors, izinyanya, to guide the living. Here are some key aspects of Kamata and Xhosa. The role of Kamata, who is regarded as the supreme being who holds ultimate authority over the universe, is to act as intermediaries between the living and Kamata, their guardian spirits, often ancestors or chiefs who are honored through rituals to ensure protection and fortune. Their alternative names are Mdali, the creator, Kamata, and Thixo, a term often used for the Christian god. Kamata is believed to have created the world, with some traditions mentioning a battle against the water snake in Kanyamba. While traditional beliefs in Kamata persist, many Xhosa-speaking people also identify as Christians, leading to a unique syncretism of ancestral veneration and Christianity. Traditional Xhosa spirituality centers on respecting ancestors to maintain harmony with the divine, with Kamata serving as the highest, often distant, creator.
Like many Bantu-speaking people, the ancestors of the Xhosa migrated southward over centuries, settling in what is now South Africa between the 15th and 18th centuries. They established communities along fertile lands, rivers, and coastal regions, developing strong agricultural and pastoral traditions. These migrations were not without challenge. The Xhosa encountered neighboring groups, leading to alliances, cultural exchange, and at times conflict. Over generations, this shaped a strong social structure built around kinship, leadership, and community defense. Colonial expansion in the 18th and 19th centuries brought immense disruption. The Xhosa Wars, a series of conflicts between Xhosa kingdoms and European settlers, marked a defining period of resistance and loss. Despite land dispossession and political upheaval, the Xhosa people preserved their cultural identity through language, ritual, and oral tradition.
Imbeleko is a significant ceremony. Xhosa baby initiation centers on Imbeleko, a crucial ceremony introducing a newborn to ancestors, elders, and the community. It traditionally involves burying the umbilical cord on ancestral land to secure the child's identity and connection to their heritage.
I feel their presence.
Other early rituals include efukwini, seclusion, and naming, marking the transition from birth to babyhood. Key aspects of Xhosa baby rites. This is the primary ceremony to thank the ancestors for the safe arrival of the baby. A goat is typically slaughtered to symbolize this introduction. The umbilical cord. According to tradition, the umbilical cord is buried on ancestral grounds, connecting the child to their heritage and ancestors. Efukwini, birthrights. This refers to the period immediately after birth, where the mother and newborn are kept in seclusion, traditionally behind a curtain or in a special room for about 10 days, attended by elderly women. Naming and purpose. During this period, the baby is given a name and formally welcomed into the family. It serves to introduce the infant to their clan and ancestors, seeking protection and blessing for the child. While many of these traditional practices are still observed, they have adapted to modern lifestyles and urban settings, with some urban families opting for simplified versions of these rituals.
The male initiation ceremony of the Xhosa people of South Africa, Ulwaluko, is an age-old tradition. It's a mystical, secretive ritual that occurs far away from the eyes of the public. The only information non-participants and non-family members ever have about it is the disturbing death toll from what the newspapers call botched circumcisions. As a result, there is pressure from some quarters to ban the custom altogether. And as winter approaches and a new crop of Abakweta are preparing to go to the mountain to earn the right to call themselves men.
And for the Xhosa girls, their ritual takes place after a girl has had her first period. This ritual is symbolic of a girl's sexual maturity and ability to conceive. It is through this ritual that Xhosa girls are taught about socially accepted behaviors of Xhosa women, while also encouraging them not to have intimacy before marriage. The origin of the name Intonjane is associated with the life cycle of a stick insect. At the end of its larval stage, caterpillars encase themselves in a little grass-like mat cocoon until they are ready to emerge as adults. During these months, trees have these grassy cocoons that Xhosa people refer to as Ntonyane. The kind of grass that the girl sits on during the ritual, called Inkropo, bears a resemblance to the cocoons encasing of the caterpillars on the tree, hence the name Intonjane. The Intonjane ritual takes 3 to 6 weeks, and several events take place during that period.
Marriage within Xhosa culture is not simply a union between two individuals,
this is a blessing
but
for
a
our
bond
family.
between
The
families.
ancestors smile on us.
Central
Let us eat
to
and
this
celebrate.
process is lobola, the traditional exchange of cattle or its modern equivalent, which symbolizes respect, commitment, and the joining of lineages. Historically, polygamy existed within Xhosa society, often associated with social status and economic stability. In such households, family cooperation and shared responsibility were emphasized. Today, marriage practices vary widely. Many Xhosa families blend
Thank you, my dear.
traditional
You
customs
too.
with
Mom,
modern
Dad,
lifestyles, adapting cultural values to contemporary realities while preserving their symbolic meaning.
Xhosa culture is visually rich and deeply symbolic. Beadwork plays a central role in personal adornment, communication, and identity. Each color and pattern carries meaning, reflecting age, marital status, and social position. Traditional clothing, often worn during ceremonies, reinforces cultural pride and continuity. These artistic expressions are not only cultural markers, but also economic lifelines, with many artisans selling beadwork locally and to visitors. Music, dance, and storytelling further enrich Xhosa cultural expression, serving as vessels for history, moral lessons, and communal memory.
With the Xhosa people being one of the most influential tribes in Africa, here are some of the Xhosa giants who changed the world.
There is a nation within a nation in South Africa, a people whose voices shaped history far beyond their homeland. The Xhosa. From the rolling hills of the Eastern Cape came leaders, thinkers, revolutionaries, and spiritual guides who altered the course of Africa and the world. One of the most recognized names in human history was born into the Tembu royal family, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Imprisoned for 27 years under apartheid, Mandela did not emerge with bitterness. He emerged with vision. His leadership turned a divided nation away from civil war and toward reconciliation. In 1994, he became South Africa's first black president, a global symbol of forgiveness, resilience, and justice. But Mandela did not stand alone. Before him stood a strategist, a diplomat, and a quiet architect of resistance, Oliver Reginald Tambo. While Mandela was imprisoned, Tambo carried the African National Congress into exile. For nearly 3 decades, he built international support against apartheid. He traveled the world tirelessly, ensuring the struggle of South Africans was never forgotten. Without Tambo's diplomacy, global sanctions against apartheid may never have happened. Then there was the intellectual fire that refused to be silenced.
Steve Biko, founder of the Black Consciousness Movement, Biko changed how oppressed people saw themselves. He thought that psychological freedom must come before political freedom. His words awakened pride and identity in a generation. Though he died in police custody in 1977, his philosophy still echoes in classrooms and movements today. Faith also played a powerful role in the struggle.
Archbishop Desmond Tutu, a spiritual leader with an unwavering moral compass, Tutu used the pulpit as a weapon against injustice. He spoke boldly against apartheid when silence was safer. After democracy arrived, he chaired the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, guiding a wounded nation through confession, accountability, and healing. His laughter was warm, but his courage was still. The influence of Xhosa leadership continued into modern governance.
Thabo Mbeki, as South Africa's second democratic president, Mbeki pushed for African unity and economic reform. He championed the idea of an African renaissance, calling for the continent to reclaim its intellectual and political strength on the global stage. And beyond politics, Xhosa excellence shaped culture, literature, and music. Miriam Makeba, though often associated broadly with South Africa, carried the sounds of Africa to international stages. Singing in Xhosa and other African languages, she made the world listen. Writers like S.E.K. Mkai preserved Xhosa language and oral tradition, ensuring history would not be erased. These figures were not simply individuals. They were chapters in a larger story, a story of resilience, identity, and spiritual depth. The Xhosa people have long valued community, ancestry, and courage. Leadership was never just about power. It was about responsibility to the collective. From rural villages to global platforms, their influence reshaped politics, spirituality, and consciousness.
Today, Xhosa people live across rural villages and major cities, navigating the intersection of tradition and modern life. Education, technology, and urbanization have transformed daily experiences. Yet cultural identity remains strong. Many young Xhosa proudly speak isiXhosa, participate in traditional ceremonies, and celebrate their heritage while pursuing modern careers. Cultural preservation efforts, language education, and community initiatives continue to strengthen this identity. The Xhosa story is not one of disappearance, but of adaptation.
The Xhosa people are a testament to resilience. Through migration, conflict, and change, they have preserved a culture rooted in community, respect, and identity. Their story reminds us that tradition is not something left behind. It is something carried forward. This is the living legacy of the Xhosa.